Hello everybody, hi Miss Birdo, and welcome to Book Talk, Real Talk, where we dive into books, overanalyze characters, and where we pretend that we're therapists for fictional people. I'm Elizabeth Grace Villarreal Guillermo, some call me Isai for short, and today we're going to be talking about Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, specifically our protagonist, Liz Buxbaum. Today's episode is going to be called Liz Buxbaum, a confused mess, but we love her anyway. First of all, we've got a lot to unpack here. The main idea for this video for my media text portion of this culminating is to connect and drive people into a different side of a book. Instead of just seeing the rainbows and sunshines, why don't we dig deep into its flaws? You may ask, well, why? The story is already so good. Exactly there. That's our point. That's what we're making our problem to be. Instead of seeing why it's good and why it's a fan favorite, why don't we challenge ourselves? Let's explore why it shouldn't be good and why it's overhyped. Liz is a great protagonist. She doesn't necessarily have that stereotypical main character vibe to her. She's rather humble. For a lot of the book, she has many moments where she seems like she has everything figured out. She's got a plan and she knows what she wants, and she looks forward to what the future has to offer her. But if you dig deep and look closer, you'll actually notice that she's a lot of bit full of contradictions. One of the biggest part of Liz's life is her grief over her mom. She doesn't just miss her, she misses the kind of relationship that she can't have anymore. There's a character in the novel that she doesn't consider her friend. In fact, she has a strong opinion on her. Lainey is one of the characters who walks into her room and immediately she is the most beautiful person there, unlike Liz, who's just, one would say, average. There's a specific moment in the book where Liz compares herself to Lainey, more of comparing her relationship with her mother to Lainey and her mother. It's a flashback in grade school where they were having lunch at the cafeteria. Liz overheard Lainey's table and the direct quote is, "But the notes were what had destroyed me." There wasn't a single day that her lunch didn't include a handwritten note from her mom. They were funny little letters that Lainey used to read out loud to her friends, with silly drawings in the margins, and if I allowed my snooping eyes to stray to the bottom, where it said, "Love, Mom," in curly cursive with doodled hearts around it, I would get so sad that I couldn't even eat. This part of the story explores how it kills her to know that she is missing that relationship she could have had with her late mother. Lainey's relationship with her mom is what Liz desired, but knew she couldn't have anymore. Instead, she has memories of her mother to enjoy, and has a girl like Lainey who is rotting under all that beauty, but gets to have the one thing that Liz couldn't have. This grief isn't just in the background. It shapes how Liz sees everything else. There are many moments where we find her saying that she's happy when she's with Michael, or she'd rather be with Michael than with Wes, but when Wes texts her, her reaction gives it away. When she went to go prom dress shopping with her best friend, her mother, and her stepmother, she found herself in the changing room already done with the whole situation. She's not the type of girl who would enjoy prom dress shopping, but she went to do it anyway. Though when she was in her fitting room, she found herself saying, "I plopped down on the bench and felt my phone buzz when I sat. I pulled it out and saw a message from Wes.
What happened to your car?"
The minute I saw that text from Wes, I felt something good and equally confusing that I chalked up to being related to Michael. He could have been texting about Michael. That had to be the reason for my reaction. In this moment, she admits it oh my gosh, I can't talk. In this moment, she admits it subconsciously. She barely wants to say it in her head, let alone say it out loud. She likes Wes more than she believes, and more than she even wants to believe. If anything, she's in denial because her fate is Michael. So she will find anything to make excuses that she actually doesn't like Wes that much. She's lying in the books. She's lying to us because she's lying to herself. Liz's confusion isn't just a mistake in the story. It's real. She's trying to balance what she should want with what she actually feels. Maybe the lesson isn't about choosing Michael and Wes, and maybe it's learning to trust herself even when things didn't go as planned. A lot of her decision makings is based on her mom, which we will explore in the essay. But part of the reason why she's only going for Michael isn't only because the reason of her having a crush on him when she was younger, and then it's like a second chance to loving him because now that he moved back, but it's because it reminds her of her mother. The last impression her mother had of Michael was to go for Michael because he was a kind little boy and maybe he'd grow up to be the same. Liz Buxbaum, she isn't perfect. She's messy, she's unsure, and that's what makes her so relatable. She's not a character who has it all together. She's a real person trying to figure things out. And then towards the end of the book, we have a moment where Wes finally breaks down and tells her the truth. That she's living for an idea of what her mom wanted for her, not for herself. That's a turning point. It's not just about her mom anymore, it's about Liz. It's about her realizing that she's been ignoring her own feelings, her own happiness, because she's too busy trying to live up to somebody else's expectations. She went to a party with Wes, planning to get closer to Michael, but when they were driving back home, they got into a car accident. And conveniently enough, it was raining outside. So when Wes called his dad to come get them and help them out, they decided to sit in the back of his car. And after going to a party to try to get closer to Michael, she finds herself kissing Wes in the back of the car. It doesn't get further than that, but that alone can be so confusing. Trying to see it from Wes's perspective, I don't know how he truly must have felt, but to be sitting in the back of the car kissing the girl you've been liking since you were 2 kids bantering with each other, who grew up to be enemies, who is now fake dating? Because she has a crush on a guy, but here you are, kissing the girl that you like. Wouldn't that be so confusing? And when Wes is there for her, like when she gets a bloody nose after that silly little basketball flying to her face. Again, another moment of her trying to get closer with Michael and Wes helping her out with it. She doesn't even notice the signs. Wes decided to end his hangout. Right there and then, no hesitation, just to take her to the hospital over a bloody nose. She's too busy clinging to her fate with Michael to see that Wes is the one who's actually there for her. Over the fate that her late mother made for her. Okay, yes, she values her mother. Okay, I get it. But at the same time, you can make decisions for yourself. Wes mentions that too in his long rant. It's not until the long rant she decided that she does like him. But before that, there were still many signs that Liz missed. She mentions that Wes usually doesn't like to go shopping, but he decides to make time for her, for a makeover, for her to look more like Michael's type so that she can get with a guy she likes instead of him trying to work for the girl he likes. According to Louise Rosenblatt's theory, a reader's experience of a text isn't just about the words on the page. It's about the interaction between the reader and the story. So it's based on your culture, your background, and your personal experiences. Liz Buxbaum's unreliability and messiness don't just reflect with her character, but they invite the reader to actively engage with the text, filling in the gaps with her own emotions, experiences, and judgments. When Liz ignores the signs that Wes is there for her, or when she clings to her fate with Michael, despite her true feelings, Rosenblatt would argue that the reader isn't just about observing her contradictions, but they're participating in them. The reader's emotional reaction, whether frustration, sympathy, or confusion, becomes part of the story itself. This shapes how they interpret Liz's journey and what they take away from it. In this way, Liz's unreliability isn't just a narrative device. It's a bridge between the story and the reader itself. The book kind of acts like a coloring page, except the reader gets to fill in the colors. That's what makes the story so personal and real, and that's how you connect a reader with the book. You can have the most beautiful book in the world and the most predictable book in the world, which, by the way, what my essay explores, but if you don't have connection with the reader, where are you really going with this book? That's what Better Than the Movies offers. It makes it feel real. It has awkward encounters that allow readers to feel like it's okay to be human when you are human. Thank you so much for tuning in and thinking with me and letting Liz Buxbaum mess with your emotions as much as she messes with her own life. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive where we overanalyze characters and pretend like we're their therapist for the night. Until next time, keep reading, keep questioning, and allow yourself to be a little messy sometimes with these books. See you next time.